Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a look at the NECA Aliens Queen Alien Deluxe action figure. This is a massive looking set. I'm really excited to check this one out. First, let's go over all the articulation. There's the hinge at the jaw, obviously. There are two joints in the neck, one at the base by the shoulders and one under the head. If you pull them both forward, you can get the head to look down quite away from the back, so that's cool. It is kind of a ball joint that does turn and rotate a bit. You've got the socketed joint at the shoulder. You've got a socketed elbow joint that does rotate. And you also get a rotating hinge at the wrist. Now underneath the wrist, or the chest area, you get to these other arms with a socket at the shoulder joint, if you will, because it's in the middle of the chest, but what would be the shoulder there, a swiveling socketed hinge at the elbow of it, and then another rotating hinged wrist. So there's a lot of good articulation on these little arms here. You do get another socketed joint at the top of the hips. Double knee joints here. Again, everything kind of rotates in a socket. And then you've got her feet, which have their own joint at the ankle, and then at the bottom of the feet there's a joint, and that also, not only does it pivot, but it hinges. So there's a lot of good articulation for the feet. There is also a mid-torso cut right there that does rotate. Not a whole lot, but it is there. It does kind of arch up and down. And then you get the bendy tail, which has its own little rotating joint at the butt. Most importantly, there's two more joints. Aside from the jaw, there's a joint at the top of the head which allows the whole kind of face to move, but also the crown piece slides forward and slides back, so you do get that reveal from the film when, her head kind of comes out from behind the crown piece. Now this figure comes with two of the extendable mouthpieces, the little sexy alien tongues that come out from the middle of the mouth, and there's like a little shaped plug in the back of the mouth, so if you just jam it in there just right, and get the plug to fit in at the right angle, like so. Aside from the attachable tongue, there is one area that requires assembly. These little spine pieces have to be plugged into the 6 sockets on the back. There's 3 on each side of the upper back. Unfortunately, mine only came with 5, so that's a bit of a bummer for me. Each set of spines comes with like 3 different kinds, a long one, a medium, and a short one, and that's the order they go in. And they have their own little kind of joint, so you can kind of bend them downward a bit, which allows for the head to kind of articulate and not really, get in the way of the spike. So that's cool. Now the Queen also comes with a figure stand, which comes with 2 poles. The shorter one, you could support the body with, but this longer one you could support, I think, if you want it to be reared up and have its head higher, you could use this longer pole to have the Queen like standing up in a higher pose. It also comes with this little clip at the end, which has no articulation, so you only have the one spot to put it on. You can't kind of open it up for a wider position, but it just plugs in there, and then the other end just plugs in, down there like so. Pretty easy. If you want the Queen to be crouched a bit, if you want her to stand in a shorter position, you can bend the figure at the leg joint so the body rests lower and it rests on the shorter arm stand right underneath the ribs there. Or you could use the longer arm to support the figure right underneath the neck. I like this one because balance is no longer an issue with this. The weight support is rested at the front end and the back end of the figure, so I like that. And I like this figure. I mean, the amount of detail on this is just insane. You can see, that the sculpting on the neck area and the head, all the little ridges. The sculpting on this is insanely good on NECA's part. But I think the paint job really does highlight this well. I mean, they use the blue scheme from the film, but I do like the use of black and gold edges here on some of the elements, like the wrists here, elbows. I point to the elbow and I say wrist because I'm dumb. But even on the hands, there's these little silver parts like along the knuckles that look really, really good. I think the paint job just really highlights what a great sculpt this is. You can see it along the feet. You can see it everywhere. The ribs, the top of the little Queen's dome thing, her little head. That dome ridge looks insanely good. I keep saying insanely good a lot, but this is so good, and it's insane. So good job to them on that. I even like the fact that they use like this little kind of clear teeth element, just like how it looks in the movie, and the little side jaw stuff looks really, really good. Here's a closer look at the detailed hands, and just, her undercarriage, if you will. again, that use of like coppery gold paint really does highlight some really good stuff. Really, really, really great work. You know, despite the fact that mine was missing a spine piece, I still dig this a lot. I think the bendy tail is a really nice touch. You can twist it all the way around if you want. I mean, although the spine sections won't kind of match up, but you can get it in some pretty sweet little poses. NECA's inclusion of the figure support arm is not only a nice touch, but also, I'd say, a necessary one. This is a great design for a character, but it's a design that does not allow for it to stand really well on its own as a toy, and I'm glad that NECA realizes that. Now, if you extend the legs considerably, you can get the figure to, like, arch back, do a really tall pose, and you can use that longer arm and put it underneath the ribs, which gets it to stand really tall. I think this is great. Like, it looks rad. The articulation on the arms can get it to look really cool. And I like that you can put the shorter little mouthpiece in there and that it fits inside the mouth, the main mouth. You can open and close it and it stays within there. Overall, man, I love this figure. I mean, I think it's very well sculpted. I think NECA did a great job painting it. It's a great design, and I love that it's perfectly to scale with all the other figures in this series, because I love NECA's Alien series. As a fan of the movie, holy crap, this is a beast of a figure. Totally worth it. I love it. Thanks for watching, folks. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff.